Market update on the 14th. So, if you followed the video yesterday where I talked about buying puts between about 404.75 and 406, then you should have done pretty well today because we got a move down directly from that. Me personally, I loaded up on puts around here, and then right at 2 o'clock, right when Powell started speaking, we dipped like $4 or $5. So we dipped right here, right at 1 o'clock, dipped really quickly, and I dumped everything right here at 4 o'clock. The reason I did that is because even if I thought we were going to go to 390, is because I already had good gains, and there was no point in me risking being wrong and we go to 390. Let's say it comes back up here later in the day, because that's what happens a lot in FOMC. So I already had good gains. I'd buy at 405 and I sold around 400. There was no point in holding anymore. So I went ahead and sold there, and then I just watched the rest of this. I sold some puts on Tesla when it came down here, just as a hedge, just in case it does go up here. I don't have any calls. But yeah, it was pretty flat. It wasn't that big of a move, really. I mean, we did go, I guess, this is a pretty big move, actually. 396 to 403. I didn't catch that. I stopped trading after I sold at 400. So the plan worked out good. It wasn't the exact move that I was looking for, though. And so that happens sometimes, but still made profit, so that was good. What I think this is now is, I think that we are just in like an ABC pattern now. I think that's the most likely scenario. I was looking at different things. There's another one that we could be an expanded flat, but I think this is less likely. Expanded flat would look like this. This would still be 1. This would be A. This would be B. Be looking for a C wave up here, and then that would be the second wave. So that's one possibility. Probably, it's kind of hard to say, but this looked very corrective though, so I think this is probably least likely. The most likely, in my opinion, is that this whole thing is actually just ABC. So A, B, and we're still working on a C wave down here to the low 390s. And if you go on you have to go down to the 1 minute time frame to look at these waves. But this wave from the very top is not impulsive. You can see we got all red, and we bounced right here, and then another move down, and then it comes back in here again. It looks like ABC, B, and then another ABC right here. So the whole thing is ABC. This looks like ABC as well. And then we finally get a impulsive move right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so I think the most likely scenario is that we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This should come down to like 394, bounce to like 395-ish, and then come down here to like 392, maybe 390. That looks like the most likely scenario. If we take the 1.61 fib of the A wave, that is down here at 392.14. So I think that's the most likely scenario. Maybe tomorrow we sell off down to 392.14. Invalidation would be above the top of this at 403.37. So if it goes above this, then that would bring into the second wave possibility up here. But right now, the only move that was impulsive was this, what I think. So A, B, and then this is a very odd, you can even consider this ABC, I guess, because it makes it really weird for the C wave to be ABC, ABC, and then a 5-wave move. So that's what I see right now. I'm not 100% on this one right now because the chart just looks really weird right now to me. So I brought up 2 scenarios that are possible for the next couple of days. I would lean towards down here to 392 though, and finishing out, and this whole thing ended up being A, B, C, like that. And if we zoom out here, that would just mean we had a regular flat. And so that would mean we would bounce back again, and this is not the start of the move down. If we do end up making a expanded flat up here to 407, then that brings into possibilities that we still have a third wave down. That could take us all the way down to 392 for a third wave, or potentially all the way down here to the demand zone that I've been talking about. So we'll have to see. The key levels for tomorrow are the top right here at 403.68. It's got to hold that for another move down, in which the target would be 390.43 on this 1.61, but the 1.61 fib of the A wave is around 392, so anywhere from 390 to 392, and this would end up being a 5-wave move like I just talked about. So key levels are pretty much 396.46, breaking that, or breaking above 403.68. As far as like longer term moves, it just depends on what happens tomorrow, but if we get A, B, and then a C wave down here, then that means we're probably looking at more upside again. That would mean that this would probably be the B wave, and we're probably going to go up, like I talked about in some previous videos, higher. So I don't see anything in the chart that means we're going to fall right away, but I think we could see 390 to 392 if we get an ABC move here in the next couple of days. If it ends up being a 5-wave move, we can still come down here to the daily demand for the B wave. If it becomes a 5-wave move, you could potentially say this is the top too, because this broke above this. And so if we got a 5-wave move down here and we bounce, we'd have to watch the bounce to see if we had actually topped right here at 411. So not the clearest chart right now, but if you follow my advice yesterday in the video, you made money. Hopefully you sold when you got to like 396, 397 and didn't wait for 390. You gotta take gains when you get them. So the dollar now, the dollar is interesting because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we have a diagonal. We have 1, 2, 3. Let me zoom in more. This looks like 1, 2. It looks like, hold on. I mean, this looks as though, let me go on lower time frames. It looks as though this third wave is not finished yet, but it might have finished right here. Oh, actually right here, I'm sorry. So we have 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe the third wave finished right here. And then this was the 4th wave, and we're working on the 5th wave. This is what I see on this time frame. On the third wave, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Broke the low right here, and then it bounces right back up here, and then starts going low again. Finishes at 103.62. If you go on lower time frames, we might have already bottomed, but already hit my target of 103.50. So we'll see what happens with the dollar. It should be close to bottoming. So I don't know how that lines up with SPY. Maybe this ends up being a 5-wave move, but it's not 100% clear right now. After I sold my puts today, I just sat on the sidelines and watched the rest of the day. It's pretty boring to me after that, but I was happy to be profitable. So 10-year yield is at 3.5% or 3.47%. And if we zoom out here on the daily time frame, I still think that this probably has one more move higher here, I think. So I would expect So we get a 5-wave move here. This is probably A, B. So A, B. I would look for another move up here for the C wave, and that would complete the overall B wave. We'd probably get another move down here, which would be bullish for equities. So it's putting all this together right now is going to be interesting to see what happens over the next week or so, get a clearer picture. But just look for something down here to 392, 390 minimum, I would say, in the next couple of days. And if you come here to 407 on the next move, then that should be a great place to, again, load up puts, stop above the high, and then wait for the next move down. So that's a good thing too, is you don't have to have all these moves 100% correct. You have to just be able to play the structure of the move. And so again, we know this whole thing is corrective, and we got this move looked impulsive. And so we know the next move, if we get a move up here to 407, it's probably going to come back down here again. So, and I'm 100% willing to take that trade too, because I'm only risking $3 to make a way more than that. Go down to 390. You're risking $3 to make 17 bucks if you hold it all the way through the trade. Again, if you're up a bunch of money though, you might want to just cut it early and at least take some profit. Let's look at QQQ. So QQQ pretty much the same as SPY. Just watching the exact same pattern. Maybe it's a little bit different. Let's see. The exact same. If this would have ended up being, if this high would have been below this high, then we could say this is a 5-wave move, and we could have, it wouldn't have been a very good third wave, but it would have been a third wave. You can see this would have been 1, 2, but unfortunately it breaks above here and it just makes this ABC. So same thing with QQQ. Look for either holding 290.11 or going above 290.11, or holding 283.26 and going higher to somewhere around 293.28 would be a target for a second wave. Or if we come down here, you're looking at $279. That's the 1.61 fib of this wave. Or you're looking at around 278. So same thing. So I would look for more downside in QQQ over the next couple of days, maybe another week out. And it should be pretty quick, to be honest, if it plays out. So we'll see on those. Look at Bitcoin real quick. Bitcoin really strong right now compared to the overall market. And I'm still looking for this up here to the very top of 17,000 to complete. And then we can make the final move down to 12,000. So same thing as last video, waiting for this to complete. Where are we at in this final leg? We are starting, and it's moving as I speak, starting this final move higher. Look for, whoa, this was earlier today, or yeah, earlier today. It was already at 18,000 earlier today, huh? Let me zoom out here a little bit. So I already hit my target basically. So I'm expecting downside. We already came off of that. Still looking for down here. I think we're going to start selling off in the overall market here in the next week. So that's another thing to keep in mind. If we get a move up here, I think that might be the top here at 410. We can look at the moving averages too. We're currently below the 200-day moving average, which is at around 402.45. We have the 20 here at 398.72. So we're right in between those right now. We got the 50 down here at 385. And that's all I have right now. Let me get the 100 on here too. We got the 100 at down here at 392. So that might be an actual good target for the final move down to 392 to complete this. I would look for the 100-day, and we'll have to see over that. We'll reevaluate unless it ends up being a 5-wave move. We'll reevaluate after this happens because you never know. We might get something like this. I don't think it's very likely, but the chart is not going to lie. I mean, I'm just following the price action. For timing wise, I have this starting to sell off here within the next week or two. By the end of the year and then going into January, I think there's going to be a big correction. We'll see though. This is taking a long time. We're now at 2 months. If we go back here and look at the other corrections, this one took right at 2 months as well. So we're in the time frame that you would normally think we'd sell off. This one only took a little bit over a month. So this might end up being the longest bear rally, if we're even in a bear market right now still. We're right at 2 months. So if it keeps on going on from here, then we are looking at the longest one of the year. So anyway, just look for 390, 392 is the most likely scenario. If we break 403.75, look for about 407, reload puts, stop above the high, and look for a third wave down to the low 390s and probably come down here to hit the 50-day moving average around 385. And that would complete either the C wave or the first wave down. So that's it, kind of long, kind of all over the place, but let me know how you did today. Hopefully you took the advice yesterday and bought some puts and sold them and made some money, and made it simple on yourself and sold right when FOMC, when the minutes came out. So that's it. Let me know what you think in the comments, like and subscribe, and I will talk to you tomorrow.